at a young age, some not even legal, and grooming them and turning them into Sharmootahs and making millions off of it. We just did an interview with No Jumper, Adam 22, right? Another piece of shit. And he tells them many things about this operation. Wait until I tell you how it all comes out. First, I want to say, I don't have a problem with OnlyFans. In fact, sometimes, I like certain girls to have OnlyFans. But there's a difference between having an OnlyFans and making an adult decision than when you're 16, 17 years old, maybe just turning 18, and then starting one because your brain is not developed. You can't understand. You don't have the life experience to understand how decisions like this, regardless of the money you're going to make, can affect your future. And I know what you guys are going to say. You're going to say, John, these Sharmootahs are going to do it anyway, right? Well, yeah, maybe they're going to do it, but they're going to be older so they can make a rational decision about it. So now saying that, Jack the shithead was on the Adam 22 podcast, and this podcast was members only. So if you're not a member, you can't see all the bullshit these guys are spitting. But of course, I'm going to show it to you. First, before I tell you all that, speaking of Adam 22, the piece of shit, you remember the story that came out, where he likes other men to do things to his wife? She's an OnlyFans girl, he's an OnlyFans guy, they do things together on there, but he didn't mind her going out and finding men to do it, right? Well, not only that, he likes the men to do her and things to her in front of him. He sits there, back, watching it, enjoying it, doing things with him, with them. I don't want to know, right? But when this happened, none of us could understand. We said, he's a simp, he's a cuck. Who would do this to their own wife? Even if it's for a lot of money. We didn't understand, right? Well, on this interview, he reveals something about himself. And, I'm not saying I have problems with people's lifestyle and their choices. I don't. But this explains everything because Jack is sitting across from him, right? And he tells Jack, he goes, listen, I just did a video on OnlyFans. And it was with your brother. So this explains everything about the guy now.
I don't know, but I remember my brother was like, yo, Adam 22 wants to do some gay shit with me. I'm like, I wasn't surprised, but I was more like, he wants to do with you? Like, that's just random, but okay.
Yeah, my PR guy is gay. And he was like, basically made like a little list of like the top gay OnlyFans creators that we could potentially do it with. And he's like, well, this one's Jack Doherty's brother. I'm like, wow, really? That's sick. I'm like, that makes it way better. Yeah.
Literally. That was fun.
So you didn't even know who that was before the interview?
I didn't interview him, but we just did this photo shoot together and stuff. I knew because they told me like, yo, this is one guy that you could do it with. In retrospect, I probably should have done it with a black guy.
Why?
I just think it would have been funnier to people.
Jason Love.
But I don't think anybody would believe that he was gay.
So back to Jack, like I was saying, I always wondered how this kid was a millionaire because you look at his YouTube channel, it's not doing well anymore. He's banned from everything that he gets on Kick, Twitch. He gets banned right away for all the stupid shit he does. So how does he get rich? How does he make his money? You guys remember the conversation when he was with Wes Watson, the biggest piece of shit, or maybe he's not. Let me know in the comments. Wes asked him, he said, listen, are you making money by pimping these Sharmootahs? And he said, yes.
What do you even do on OnlyFans? You pimp these bitches out?
Sort of. Not really.
Yeah, Jack. My man. Nah. Dude, I told my chick on the way here, I'm like, dude, some of Jack's chicks make like $1 million a month. She's like, she was going to come over and suck your... I'm like, you can if you want, but you ain't coming back. I mean, that's a choice. You got to commit to that one. You're gone if you make that choice late.
So since then, I've always wanted to find out more information about his operation. And now he tells us.
Like streaming is like my side thing, It's like, I just do it because I really enjoy it. Like, I actually really like streaming.
What do you think you make the most money off of?
Probably like the agency side of things.
So what's that consist of? Like, how do you get new girls to work with?
Just
DM them?
Just happens. I don't know.
Just meet them?
It's different.
Out and about?
Yeah.
Go to parties, meet girls, ask them if they want to start OnlyFans?
Sometimes just friends with the other girls. Just depends.
But you don't have your girls do actual sex stuff for the most part on OnlyFans, right?
No, they do whatever like they're comfortable with.
Okay.
And then the story starts coming together because he starts bringing up Sam Frank. You guys know who Sam Frank is? Yeah, she's an OnlyFans big-time Sharmootah. Yeah, but not only that, Neon, the biggest nerd, piece of shit, just like Jack going around doing stupid shit for fame because he doesn't have any talent. That's his girlfriend now that he simps for 24/7. So if you wonder why Jack and him, they hate each other, right? It's because they share things between each other with the same girlfriend.
Did you used to manage Sam Frank?
Yeah.
Before he was dating her?
Yeah.
I want Sam to be here, obviously, to, say stuff for herself so it doesn't look like a one-sided thing. And I want Sam to be able to explain herself as well. So, Sam?
Hello, Jack. Honestly, don't hate me.
I broke up with her, if anything, so.
No, this was mutual because...
I broke up with her.
Nah, I said it first, honestly, but he was just like, okay, I agree with you. Like,
and now the story gets interesting. He starts explaining that he met Sam as kids in grammar school, right?
All right, so yeah, break that down. So how did you even discover her?
We grew up together.
Oh,
we lived like really a minute away from each other in the same neighborhood. We went to like elementary school together.
Oh.
Yeah, so we've known each other forever.
And then they went to high school together. He moves her in, they start dating, he tells her he loves her.
All right, so you guys, elementary friends, grew up together and shit, so then you started bringing her around and like, hey, I can manage and help your career out? Like, how did that, or it was just a friendship?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I was like super into YouTube, and when I was like 15, 16, we were like making videos together and stuff, and that's how like she kind of like became like a character in my channel.
And then he got a bright idea. He goes and uses his social media fame to make her famous on Instagram.
I moved to LA like 6 months after like she moved in, and then from there we just like I grew her social media accounts, and then yeah.
And then, even a brighter idea, he influences her and tells her, let's start an OnlyFans. We can be millionaires, right? So that's what he does. She starts an OnlyFans. She makes him hundreds of thousands of dollars. They end up breaking up, and he's still collecting money because she signed the contract. And then after how he saw it worked with Sam, that recipe?
Nick Gers donated $2. I'm not playing the audio because I know what that's gonna be. Thanks for the donation, Nick Gers.
He said, I need more, I need more money. So I need to find more Sharmootas. So one by one, he started gathering a bunch of girls and started grooming a whole army of Sharmootas. He blew up their social media. He started them in OnlyFans. He made them sign a contract, and he made millions more. And then he has a new girlfriend, which they just broke up. Some of you may know or you may not know, right? What did he do with her? The same as he did with Sam and all the other Sharmootas. He moved her in. He built her social media, her Instagram following, started an OnlyFans with her, did things on those OnlyFans with her so his fans can watch. I don't understand why till now why anyone wants to watch that shit. She signed a contract, but now they're broken up, and he's still collecting hundreds of thousands of dollars. I always say, I've spoke about this before, that money isn't everything in life. Yeah, it makes life easier, right? But it's not, in the end, it's not going to make you happy. And with these two pieces of shit, which I didn't even get into that much with Adam 22, but Adam 22 and Jack Doherty, these two people will literally do anything for money. I mean, Jack, look what he says here. You guys know the Highland Boys, those sick brothers that, they do things. I gotta be careful with how I say it over here. Well, he managed them, and they had OnlyFans, and he did things on there with them, and he's sitting there bragging with Adam 22 about how much money he made, and he's proud of it.
So she said that that you made out with the Island Boys. Was she just lying?
Who?
McKinley.
No, I kissed him.
Wait. Like,
come on, it's not that gay. Like,
but did you get anything out of doing
yes,
it?
bro. Are you kidding me? I made fucking millions of dollars off that shit. Like, we all did. Like, it was insane. Like,
It's on video?
yes, and I was getting a percentage off them at the time too, which was like
That's really weird.
a couple $100,000 a month.
Yeah.
And then fucking what I was making off it too was just like stupid. It was just like retarded fucking money at the time. Like, as gay as it was, like fuck, that gay money was good. Like fuck. No, I'm kidding.
Fucking crazy. You said that fucking game one was good.
Making money off it.
Yeah, it was lit.
Respect.
Bro, I was just off my cut. I was like, holy shit, like this is lit. And then fuck, they got banned. I'm like, god damn it.
I would have done it. I would have signed them up.
Yeah, no.
Why not?
So, I was thinking, what's the saddest, this story is sad if you really think about it, but what's the saddest thing? Where's the parents of this Jack the shithead? Where's his parents, right? Where are they? They're collecting money. That's what they're doing. Do you think they care what their son's going out and doing in his life? No, they're pimping their son for money because what do you think? The expression, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree? Well, what do you think he's doing? He's pimping those girls just like his parents are pimping him.
Okay, well, I mean, to each their own.
How much time is it going to take for it to go back down? Probably less, but it's still going to take some fucking time.
Well, this is
There's
why
some bodybuilders, some top bodybuilders that have gone through literally a period of time where they've a year only had 3 meals, reduced their calories significantly, and they got smaller overall, but their waist got a lot smaller. And they were able to fix their proportions.
Of course, yeah, of course.
The second thing the reason I brought this up in the first place is the second thing that these coaches said that was seemingly really, really important is the more anabolics you do, the harder it is to keep your waist from growing.
More anabolics or higher dose anabolics?
The higher, the more, whatever, just the more gear you take for your body, the harder it is for you to keep your waist from growing.
Interesting. Okay.
So,
and you think the longer bulks are obviously a culprit for like that kind of stuff. So what would you, in your experience, what would you say like a long bulk is? I've never bulked any more than say like 9 months in my whole life.
Yeah. So
this is probably my longest bulk ever. And I'm already like kind of like not happy with like being bloated and having like a bloated belly and things like that. But I know every time I've done a bulk, the most I've gone is like 6 to 9 months. And when I cut down, my waist is super tiny, super tiny. But it's interesting you to say this and hear this because I think a lot of it personally is genetics. I think a lot of it is also like how long you're going to bulk. So do you think that plays a fact? I know we said genetics did, but do you think the duration of the bulk could also play into this because obviously if you're bulking for like some of the bigger bodybuilders bulk for like 2-3 years before competing or shredding down, I feel like, and I know some personally as well, like in my hometown, they bulk for like 4 or 5 years, went on Dreamer bulks, and then they cut down for comps and they look amazing, but just something is always off about their waist. Like it's small, but it's just not tight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's just different. I can't put it to words.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I wish we had science papers on this.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the only other thing that we have is
Experience.
quote unquote bro science, right?
Bro
Which is
science.
literally anecdotal experience.
Yeah, for sure,
But,
yeah.
I mean, when it comes to bodybuilding, that's all it is.
Yeah.
Is we're a bunch of dudes that are just experimenting on ourselves, and coaches are
Pretty
scientists
much.
that are just experimenting on a bunch of other guys.
Just
that
mad
are
scientists, really.
literally, yeah.
It's crazy when you think about it.
It's funny. It's
is
fucking
crazy.
sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Coach Patrick Tour, who's the coach of Keon Pearson, the current 2-time 212 Olympian champion,
212, yeah.
he believes in no long bulks. So like nothing over like 2 years is just too long, is what he believes. So basically, say that he was going to take you on as a client. Likely, hypothetically, he would have you, if you had 25, 30 pounds of muscle to gain, he would not want to do that in one run of 3 years.
Yep.
He would probably want to do one run 1 year where you gain maybe 8 to 10 pounds of muscle, hopefully,
Yep.
and then go into a prep. So then you'd have 1 year, almost 1 year bulking, and then you go into a prep, and then you cut down really lean, and then you take advantage of that rebound point of that insulin sensitivity.
Correct.
Come back up, make a lot of gains in that period of time.
Yep.
He's not really more. I think he's less of a reverse dieter, more of a rebound phase kind of guy. But that depends on your blood work. If your blood work looks like shit, then you're probably gonna have to take a health phase and then do a reverse.
I really like what you said about that. I think the best time to grow is obviously after being in a. You don't even have to be competing. It could be.
Yeah, Rich Piana definitely has the biggest arms I've ever seen. Like, they weren't really real. He had some sort of filler inside his arms, but they're still just ridiculous. Like, you really have to see it in person to get a sense of how ridiculous his arms looked, because they were just fucking stupid.
Be in a super caloric deficit mode, and you, like I said, you don't got to be competing. You could just be in a deficit for a long time, and then you obviously hit a rebound, and that's when your insulin sensitivity is at its peak. So you want to take advantage of that, and that's you saw me like a year and a half ago. That's essentially what I did. My last comp was with the WBFF in Las Vegas back in August last year, 2022, and after I finished that comp, I started my rebound and I started bulking. I haven't stopped bulking since then. So it's been actually a year. This has been the longest bulk I've done. I would actually say I was probably on, like, if I wanted to be really critical, from the months of August, September, maybe even October, I was just maintaining and I wasn't really bulking. And then I would say November onwards to now, I was probably bulking heavily. So almost close to a year, I'd say 10 months if I was to be honest with myself for hard bulk. And this is the longest bulk I've ever gone on. I've always been known as like the guy who's always lean and shredded. So
what do you feel like are the most important things you've changed about your diet in the last 2-3 years? Because I feel like your methodology with bodybuilding is like totally changed. Like we were both like more party bros or something like 5-10 years ago, and now we're both a lot more focused on competing.
So say that again. What do you think has changed? Or
what do you think are the
in terms of my diet?
What changes in your diet do you think were the most effective?
Cutting out cheat meals.
Cutting out cheat meals.
Yeah. Or not cutting them out completely. Let me rephrase that. Reducing cheat meals. Reducing processed foods. Reducing sugar. Things like that. So
that's my least favorite one, bro.
Yeah, reducing sugar. I hate sugar.
You hate sugar?
You can ask my girlfriend. I don't even have a sweet tooth.
What?
Yeah. She'll tell you right now.
You're demonic.
Yeah, I don't.
You're an alien.
I am. I'm not human, bro. I don't have much of a sweet tooth, so there could be chocolate and lollies around the house, anything, and I just won't eat it. Like,
sadistic.
And when I do crave sweets, I might have a few bites of something sweet, like an acai bowl, some plain vanilla ice cream with no sauce on top. I'm super plain with like my desserts. Maybe a few pancakes. That's it. And I won't even need to eat much to get that craving. Like sometimes just a few bites of ice cream, like maybe 3-4 tablespoons. I'm good. I'm like, yeah, I'm good.
No artificial sweeteners.
Yeah, I'll have artificial sweeteners in, say, like my protein pancakes when I make. Sometimes I'll chuck it in to sweeten it up.
Yeah.
I stopped coffee recently in the mornings a few weeks ago, but before that I would have coffee with artificial sweetener. But aside from the once a day coffee that I would have in the morning, which I've now cut out, I would not put artificial sweetener in anything. So I would just be eating. Okay, another big thing that I changed, I'm just going to loops here, but another big thing that I changed is I would eat more red meat. So I would have much more steak. I would eat like maybe 500 grams of steak a day almost.
How do you think that's helped you? How do you feel like that's helped you?
I know it sounds weird and might sound like bro science, but I feel like lean red meat is super anabolic. It's got so much it's got so much creatine in it. It's got so much nutrients in it. It's so calorie dense, and I think the creatine in the red meat, it just does something to your muscles, man. I don't know, maybe in the future just try this one day. Just swap out the chicken and just have a little bit more red meat, and you just fucking grow. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not the steroids.
For me to admit, I mean, I think a lot of bodybuilders think this.
Yeah.
It's pretty common, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of dudes feel like red meat is.
Yeah, dude. I'm telling you, chicken's not
anabolic for some reason.
Chicken's not that anabolic. Every time I eat steak, I feel like I'm like I know it's probably placebo. I wake up the next morning, I feel great. I feel like energized. I just feel stronger. But bro, if I'm just going on chicken, mostly chicken and not much red meat, I feel like shit. And it's the same with fish. If I'm going on chicken and fish, and
yeah, it's because it has no fat in it. So like he's just eating more.
There's not much red meat in the diet.
Really?
Again, I feel like
Just
shit. So I feel like, I don't know if it's the fats from the red meats that makes me feel good, makes me perform better in the gym. I don't know if it's a bit of placebo acting up. But I can genuinely tell you that eating more red meat in my diet in the last year I feel like has definitely helped me to put on that extra amount of muscle that I wouldn't otherwise been able to. Like, you saw me walk through the door, you're like, damn, you're fucking huge. And I've kept it relatively lean. Last time I saw it was 82 kilos. And honestly, not too far off the body fat I'm at now. I'm probably at 15% right now. And that for me is considered like fat. So last time I saw you, I would have been around 10% and at 82 kilos. Now I'm like 15% at 96, 97 kilos. So I think I've kept it pretty sensible for this bulk. This has been the leanest bulk I've done. I know if I'm going to push it to 100, I'll probably like 3-4 kilos off that and onwards. I know I'm going to be sacrificing a bit of my tightness and shit like that. But it's something we've got to do. And I feel like going back to the original question, more red meat, probably just the same staple rice in all my meals and just the same meals every day. Less cheap meals, less processed foods, less sugar. Final answer. Lock it in, Eddie.
Nice. I resonate with all of those. I haven't experimented with more red meat. I used to eat red meat in the past, but I actually changed it up several years ago, and I've been doing strictly with salmon and then a little bit of chicken
Salmon is
breast.
good.
And I think
salmon's good for fish.
The main reason I was doing that is just for my blood work, just so I could always have like as good as possible ApoB, LDL, and HDL. I don't know how much my LP(a) has shifted a lot.
Do you have like a blood coach?
Well, Transcend helps me a lot with guidance, and they will go over the blood panel with me. I also have another doctor that, luckily, I've been able to find one that doesn't judge bodybuilders, and he's been a doctor for a lot of bodybuilders. in the past.
It's funny you say that. I've got a guy similar. He used to be a bodybuilder. He's now a powerlifter, and he's a blood coach, like literally a blood coach. He'll do like my bloods and send me like natural supplements of what to take and what to eat to get my levels to normal. But
that's good.
Yeah, so far, knock on wood, everything's fine. But I'm due for another blood test soon, to be honest.
Yeah, to be honest, I've just kind of learned most of it myself, but I will always consult with.
Yeah, I just go straight to the specialist, just less guesswork. Like having a coach, less work, having a blood coach, less work, and I can just focus on like just the eating and the training, which I'm good at. It just makes it easier.
When's the last time you got your blood work done? Do you remember?
Yeah, I do. It was right before a year ago now.
Okay.
I'm due for another one.
Do you remember if you were taking your blood work when you were first taking your cycles?
It was towards the end of my cycle, right before my comp, and surprisingly, the levels weren't that bad. So I took it as a
Was this the first time you ever got your blood work done?
No.
When was the first time? Do you remember?
The first time, like when I started competing on that, not that long ago, bro, like 3 years ago.
Okay.
3-4 years ago.
Okay.
I do it once a year, but now I'm trying to do it every 6 months. I'm actually due again. Thanks for reminding me. It's been about almost a year.
I'm like so curious because a majority of us, like who have probably jumped into this, who don't even like.
They're the weirdest
ones.
ones.
They don't even go to the gym.
It's strange, huh? Like, most people know me like for obvious reasons or my Instagram platform, this and that. But then I've had some randoms come up to me like, "Hey, you're that guy off TikTok that's like done those like muzzing videos at the festivals, this and that." And I'm like, they have no idea who I am. They have no idea who my brother is. They've just seen like a viral video of me on TikTok. They don't lift. They're like super young, and I'm just like, what the hell? Like how? It just trips me out. Yeah. The internet is a very big and wonderful place.
A big and wonderful place.
Yeah. What can I say? Lots of characters.
If you feel like any of the medications that we.
I don't think I'm gonna game tonight, dude. I'm just too fucking whacked. Kid Boo, don't I tell us, would you say this is good parenting?
100% teach my son, beat the shit out of kids who make fun of you. Words do not solve problems. Bullies are not going to stop unless you punch them in the mouth. And anybody who says, use your words and have a conversation has never been bullied. Words do not solve it. If anything, they're just going to call you gay or call you soft or make fun of you more because you want to have a soft conversation. Just punch them in the face and move on with your life.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
And see, in a perfectly, white world, you can do that. I hate to burn color in this.
Yeah, I'd say that's good parenting. Thanks for the donation, Kid Boo.
We spoke about today may benefit you, such as BPC 157, GH security logs such as testosterone. Well.
Man.
Awesome. Good old days.
That was funny. That was so funny. Yeah. People trashing us for our haircuts and piercings and shit.
Jumping back to a previous topic, just since we're about running out of time, but what were your calories at when you were at its lowest, and now what is your nutrition looking like now in terms of macros and calories?
Cool. So my calories leading up into my competition on peak week got as low as 1,300.
Damn, yeah.
Yeah, so that was super low.
Yeah,
the last week was 1,300. Second last week was 1,400. Third last week was about 1,500, 1,600. That was like, it was brutal, man. And I did a DEXA scan, and my body got scanned, upper body got scanned at 4.9% body fat.
Nice.
Lower body got scanned at 8.6% body fat. My legs always come in the last. So that gave me like a medium body fat level of like 6.3% on stage. I was one of the leanest guys, if not the leanest in my category. But that's a topic for another day. My calories at the moment, I would say, are closer to around the 4K mark. I don't really track too much of the macronutrients like proteins, carbs, and fats. I kind of just eyeball it through experience. I know that I just have to get like, at least 200 grams of protein a day, and then the carbs and fats, I kind of just eyeball it and just go by experience. So I don't like to track in my off season because it's just too meticulous for me, and it just kind of makes me go a bit crazy. It takes the fun out of eating, out of training. It just takes the fun out of it. So for me, risk versus reward, it's more of a it's a, benefit versus like reward kind of like scenario. Like there's less in it for me to start tracking in my off season and track everything like a meticulous madman. It's more important for me just to like have my mind at peace, train hard, eat good, as good as I can, and get the adequate rest and everything like that. And I think that's more important. And then when it comes to prepping time, I can really knuckle down and track everything from workouts to foods to macro and micronutrients, everything, and it makes it more enjoyable. And I go 10 times harder. So off season, I'm a bit more lax. I just eyeball everything.
Gotcha. I'm a little bit more meticulous when it comes to those things. I enjoy the meticulousness of it. So
some people
for me, for example, it's like, oh man, I gotta fucking figure out the number. I gotta make sure the number, or else I feel like I'm off and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's kind of fun to always see how people can work differently, but I think what's most important is to make sure that like you're not stressed or your body's not stressed through the process.
Correct.
That's something that I've been undervaluing a lot, is making myself remain in this like rest and digest state, which is so fucking hard when you're just trying to progress in life as a man. You know what I mean?
And not only that, when you're like calculating everything, writing everything down, weighing everything, like whether you know it or not, you're building up cortisol, dude. It's stressful. When you just go to train like a gym bro and just smash a session, smash a big steak and rice.
Which I think is a benefit to if you're used to and okay with just getting a plan from like a coach and you just prepare at the beginning of the week, just eat it,
correct.
not have to worry about it at all.
Yes.
I think that's where it can help a lot. What about your training? How's your training changed from like back when you were blasting grams of tests for
Lord Gains? Why the fuck should I care about a chicken? Who gives a fuck about a fish? I'm going to eat these things, you fucking retard. Your pet cat agrees with me. My fellow predator.
Gummy's a sweet boy. You wouldn't kill a chicken. Thanks for the donation, Majin Buu.
for 2 years versus now that you're competing?
Mate, completely different. Back then, I would say I didn't even train properly. I would say I didn't even train properly till the age of probably like 27.
How so? What does that mean?
Just not hard enough. There just wasn't enough passion in how I would train. The tempo wasn't the best. The form wasn't the best. There was more of an emphasis of lifting heavy weights over correct form. So even though I was strong and I had strong lifts and I was like dumbbell shoulder pressing 50 kilograms, incline barbell pressing like 140 kilograms, like the reps were fast and the joints got sore and the tempo wasn't great and the muscle contraction and the stretch with each repetition wasn't good. So now I've actually moved more into like feeling the stretch on every rep, getting that long like flexion and like movement. So like if I'm doing like a lat pull down, I'll like pull out my arms all the way and just get that deep stretch, hold for a second, squeeze, release slowly. Whereas back in the day, I trained with more pace, more fast, more aggressive, heavier weights. And I feel like maybe that's a lot of that was ego. It's like I would pre-exhaust legs by like my coach would make me do leg extensions, like 30 reps, 40 reps to just get the blood pumping and pre-exhaust them. Sometimes 50 reps back in the day but it worked. I had chicken legs and they really grew.
Do the exact same weight. Then when you get to failure, do the 20-second rest. Same thing, repeat until you get like 1 rep left, for example.
Yeah. So you're hitting failure every time or 2 to 3 reps before failure?
I go to failure every time whenever I do this one, whenever I choose this one. And it's pretty crazy, but I can tell you I've had the most intense workouts of my life.
Okay.
And I've tried a lot of different types of training, and I've also got my genetics done. So now I know that according to my genetics, I have more type 1 fibers. So technically I would respond better to higher volume or higher reps.
Interesting.
Or whatever.
Can you link
whatever
where you got that genetic test? I'll be interested to do that for myself.
Yeah, I can do it later.
Nice.
But
nice.
What I've noticed is for me, for example, whenever I've done higher reps on legs, it's been very stimulating for my body. But I've also noticed when I did the low reps and it wasn't as fatiguing as the higher reps, nor as painful. But then I proceeded to do the metabolite training in that same exercise before moving to the next exercise that say Patrick or Hani has. I felt both types of that training being engaged. So I got that crazy pump at the end.
Yep.
And like just it's hard for me to even explain because this is very anecdotal and bro sciencey of me to say, but I'm just trying to express my experience for guys who have not tried it.
Yeah.
I just feel the most sore. I feel the most wrecked, but for a training session that is not as long as I used to train. And it's really eye-opening to me because I used to be doing almost as many sets as you did.
Yep.
And I'd be like, man, I feel like I'm in the gym for like a long fucking time and my brain is fried.
Oh, you'd be surprised. I'd be there in an hour doing, but that's just quads, an hour just on quads. Yeah. So
yeah, but that's the argument is basically, I like their idea of training because it seems to put both types of training in the same session.
I kind of do that. I kind of do something similar with my coach. So like not every week we're going to go super high volume. Like we might do 3 weeks out of the month like that. And then he'll just gauge by how I'm feeling and how rested I am, how sore I am. And then 1 week out of the month, we might just pull back on the volume and go more heavy and just get some quality sets on heavy weight. So it's not always high volume every week. It's kind of like teenagers and young men grow. A lot of them like they're still growing into the man that they want to become or their vision of becoming. And they look at like people on the screens like the Tates and the influencers and this and that. And like I want to be like these guys. I want to like mimic what these guys are doing. But you can't. You just got to be yourself. At the end of the day, and you just take what you see on social media with a grain of salt and just work on your craft, become confident, learn to like speak well, learn to be approachable, be friendly, give a firm handshake, look someone in the eyes, like engage with people, smile, just things like this that you can't really teach, that you just learn over time as you grow as a man. So that would be my advice. But on the topic of girls,
all right, I'm gonna have to go to bed. I am way too exhausted. But thanks for sticking around this long, even though I'm kind of fucked up tonight. Big thanks to everybody who donated on Streamlabs. Really appreciate it. I should be on tomorrow night around the same time, so we'll see you all then. And sweet dreams. Nighty night.